Jennie's Volleyball takes a straight set win over Missouri S&T last night. We were with head coach Flip Piontek. Coach, is a hard-fought game for sure, but you got the job done.
Straight sets normally means a little bit easier than it was last night. That was by no means easy, but in the giant scope of things, I thought Missouri S&T did a great job competing. I thought they played very hard, and I thought they made us play very, very hard. I'd like to see us improve in a couple areas, but I thought the overall result was what you wanted on your first home match.
Brady Peniston, your senior, led the team in kills with 11. Freshman Carly Soyka picked up 10 in the match. She's kind of stepped in the last week or two. Talk about what you've seen in her coming into the program in her first year and the development that you've seen.
The thing, Carly and Annie, the two freshmen, are getting lots of playing time. The thing that they have is, first of all, they played for very good high school teams, but the club teams they played for exposed them to a level of competition that many of our players aren't used to. And so their club experience in AAU volleyball, for lack of a better term, in a term that people would be familiar with, their club experience, Carly's team was the #1 ranked team in the country in 18-year-old teams for a while this past season because of the level of competition that they were exposed to and how well they competed. So we knew coming in that those kids would have the volleyball experience advantage over some of the players, even some of our returning players. And Carly, the first weekend we went to Florida, wasn't able to play. She had a hip injury, and so she wasn't able to play. When you watch a player, particularly incoming freshmen who don't get to play, you never know what to expect because they're freshmen. But every time I looked at her, you could tell she wanted to play. And I talked to her afterwards in terms of how her recovery was going, and she goes, "Look, I want to play." And that's what you want. So for her now, to get her back on the court after Florida and to work her into the lineup and to get her in a position where she can contribute to the team, I think she's doing a terrific job. And actually, I think the team is doing a very good job of trying to incorporate. You have some new players out there. 3 people, for example, between Annie and Carly and Aubrey, those are people that have not been on the court before in our situation, and now they're contributing significant amounts. So Carly, I'm thrilled with in terms of what she's doing and how she's fitting in, and her volleyball experience is making our team better.
As you said, you wrapped up the home opener last night with a win. A lot of changes in the multi this year with the video board and just a lot of the coverage with the webcast and everything else. Did it feel like a different atmosphere out there last night?
It was. As much as the team, I felt like, had a little bit of jitters going in, I felt like there was additional pressure on me in terms of the overall environment that we were thrust into last night. And as a coach, you like to prepare for everything. And I think back to Coach Martin a lot in certain situations like that. I don't know what... If the video boards and the sound and everything had been ready to go beforehand, and I know we were backed up against the home football game and we just didn't have a chance, but I would have liked to have practiced in that situation before we played in it. Because if you saw the first serve of the match, the first serve barely hit the net. Okay, it about went under it. That's how overwhelming it was, okay? But that product was awesome. And I know we can do some things and adjust a couple of things we did and everything like that. But having the students there for the webcast and the broadcast, having the TV station there, having the announcements, having the video boards, having the sound system there, that's a pretty good product. And the fans last night, there was a ton of people there. I think about Coach Martin a lot. When we started off, and even when Stacy and my wife and I visited, we were over in the corner of Garrison Gym over there, and that's not what she wanted. She wanted that product last night, and I thought about her last night because that's what she wanted volleyball to be treated as a prime product that this university was going to put forward, and that was awesome. I thought it was terrific. So I really wish she would have had a chance. I'm sure she saw it on the video because not much that she doesn't see. But I really did think about her last night in terms of where volleyball has gone, and that was awesome. That was terrific. And the support by the university and what they've done to put that product on the floor, that's terrific.
And speaking about where this program has kind of come from through the years, last night happened to be the 1,000th win in the NCAA for Jennie's volleyball. You were here for most of those. Do any?
Not 82, 83, 84, 85. I missed those two, but I did get a lot of them. Yeah.
Any of them stand out over the years you've been here?
If you had to ask me, I really liked our match on Saturday against Colorado School of Mines. I mean, I there's a whole bunch of them over the course of the years, but I like this team and these players and how our team responded to the challenge of Concordia, being down 2-1 and nearly losing the fourth set and coming back to win that fourth set and to win the match. That was an awesome feeling. And for me, that's the most recent one. But the history of our involvement in the NCAA is long and detailed, and it's in large part thanks to Coach Martin in terms of what she did to build volleyball into a successful program, not just a series of teams from year to year to year. And yesterday or Monday in the Mule Train, when Louis Theobald, the soccer coach, talked about his older players knowing who the incoming freshmen were, and then his freshmen knowing who the older players were. That's the same thing. That's what, as a program, you're trying to do. You're trying to get involvement with the former players to connect with the younger players, and you want it to work both ways. And that's what this program is, and I thought it was so cool that he recognized the value of that. I mean, he's not an old guy like me. He's a young guy. But that involvement of the family of players you created over the course of time is what really makes your program special. And, for Coach Martin to have seen that vision in 1982 that resulted in that volleyball match last night, which video boards and scoreboards, and I know it's a silly thing, but, when I looked at the scoreboard and it said set 1, not period 1.
Yeah.
When it was actually a volleyball scoreboard. I know that seems silly, but that's an indication of a change in terms of how you're approaching the sport. It's not just a basketball scoreboard that you happen to be playing volleyball on. It was a volleyball scoreboard. It had set 1. It had player numbers and digs and kills. And that's so cool. It's very cool. So the history of our involvement over the course since '82, at least for us in this program, and I think it's going to other programs in this university, is building a program where there is continuity between the older players and the younger players. I don't know how many people knew, but one of the graduate assistants working for you guys last night on the stage, Hannah Rode, her mother played with my wife on the team in 1987 that finished second in the nation. And that connection is what you want. You want that. And how my players interact with my wife and the former players, and how the new players appreciate them. That's what makes this program special. So 1,000 win to me is just a reward for that kind of a program, the thing that we've tried to accomplish here.
Right. And coming up this weekend, you can go for win 1001.
Yeah.
As you go into MIAA play at Southwest Baptist and then Lindenwood back here at home on Saturday. Just give us some quick thoughts about what you're expecting as you get into league play here.
If you watched the game last night, what you saw was a team that played really, really well for 4 or 5 points, and then, I won't say struggled, but had to work extra hard for the next 4 or 5 points. And our goal, what we talked about as a staff this morning, is to try to smooth out those rough points, okay? The game can't be played in a roller coaster fashion where you're continually going up and down, because when that happens, there's a chance when you get to point 20 or 21 that you're on the downside, okay? And you can't afford to play 3 or 4 bad points when the other team has 21. And so you can't always hope that you're on the good side going up when you get to 21 so you can score 24 and 25. So for us as a staff, trying to level that out and how we can work on slowly and gradually increasing the level of play without just suffering through those dips and flow in the game. So that's what we'll work at this week. And so really, as much as I want to say that SBU does this and Lindenwood on Saturday does this, I'm really more worried about us. And so what we're doing today in practice and tomorrow in practice is working on things that we can do to try to smooth that out so that we can be a little bit more persistent without having so many ups and downs throughout the course of the match.
Jennie's Volleyball, as I said, return to the multi-Saturday, 3 o'clock against Lindenwood. Coach, thanks.
Thanks, Greg.